We continue with our Theology of the Body Mondays. And last time we began talking a bit about same-sex attraction. And we kind of explored how that an attraction in itself does not offend God because sin always involves choosing something. And so this means that a person who experiences same-sex attraction can very well be a really good Christian follower of the Lord. Like this does not have any bearing in itself, the attraction itself, on their faithfulness to the Lord. When sin can come in is with a lifestyle, with a choice, right? And so we also kind of talked briefly about how engaging in sexual acts of a homosexual nature, then that would be indeed offensive to the Lord, just like many other sexual acts that we've been kind of unpacking that are not moral because of what the sexual act is or is supposed to be, right? Now, linking this back to theology of the body, one of the things we were talking a lot about at the beginning is this reality that we are made for communion, we're made for intimacy, we're made for intimacy and for union. And this is for every single person. Every single person is made, is like as in Genesis it says, like man was not made to be alone, right? We're made for deep friendship. It's part of what a heart needs. And ultimately, all this is pointing us to the reality of heaven, right? The fact that we're made for heaven, for eternal communion with God, because no friendship here on earth is going to really fully satisfy our heart. So if a person experiences same-sex attraction, they're no exception to this. They're also made for intimacy and for deep friendship, but they're not gonna be finding this, right, because of the attraction they experience in sexual union. And one of the things that our culture seems to sometimes say is that sex equals intimacy and lack of sex equals lack of intimacy, right? As if that was it, right? And that is false. Intimacy and union with another is greater than just mere sexual relations, right? Yeah, sexual relations can be a part of intimacy or union with another, but intimacy is something greater. Is more than that. I mean, deep friendship, as you probably know, right, is much more than that, right? And so, as I'm saying, a person that experiences same-sex attraction, of course, they're also made for deep intimacy and deep union. It's just not going to be found or expressed in a sexual way. Now, one of the things that I think kind of related to this and regarding kind of the church, it's one of the things that perhaps we can grow in as a church is how do we foster spaces where a person who experiences same-sex attraction can actually find a community where they can have deep friendship and intimacy, meaningful friendships, for the sake of their heart, finding that for which they were made, precisely because perhaps they bear the cross of saying, well, I will not be able to have this romantic relationship that perhaps other people get to experience. And still, though, there's a craving for intimacy and union and deep friendship. And so if a person were to come to the church, who's saying, hey, I experience same-sex attraction and I desire to follow Jesus and his teachings, would they find a welcoming, fellow brothers and sisters Christians that would support them in living chastity in their own life and offering a deep and meaningful friendship? Thankfully, at least in the United States, there's a lot of growth in this area. We have things like, I don't know if you're familiar with these groups, but like a group like Courage, or Eden Invitation, or The Pursuit, right? Which is our ministry precisely to create communities so that people who experience same-sex attraction can find deep, meaningful friendships and therefore live a fulfilled life. But regardless, we could also ask the question on a personal way, like, would I be somebody who would be hospitable and would offer friendship, right? Which we should, right? Precisely because we ought to help each other bear our different crosses, and somebody who experiences same-sex attraction bears a particular cross, and we ought to help each other be Simons of Cyrenes to the other. Again, more to say about all of this, and we'll continue, but just thoughts for